Let's return to one of our top stories. Former Gauteng Health MEC Bandile Masuku and presidential spokesperson Khusela Diko will face the ANC's provincial disciplinary committee over corruption claims related to COVID-19 contracts. The ANC in the province wants Gauteng Premier David Makhura to urgently appoint a new health MEC. This, of course, after he axed Masuku earlier this month, but seemed to leave a door open to perhaps reappoint him. Well, for more, I'm joined now by political analyst Lesiba Teffo. Good evening, Lesiba. What do you make of what the ANC Provincial Executive Committee has come up with, bearing in mind that they've taken the Integrity Commission in the province's recommendations, looked at it, tweaked it, and now come out with their own suggestions? Is it a departure from what the Integrity Commission decided?
It's a scrambled egg. I try to listen to them speak almost in forked tongues, trying to find some coherence of sort, both at the level of discourse, logic, and even at the level of political contestation. I don't think one of them can stand up and vocally and say, this is exactly what we want and that's where we are headed. That notwithstanding, I have a sense that the matter was clearly, shadily, and clumsily handled, and a dignified way is sought to bring back Masuku, perhaps rightly so.
It was interesting, though, because the ANC PEC is saying, well, actually, we need to appoint a new health MEC. Now, from what I remember of what the Premier said when he fired him was that should he be found innocent of any direct corruption involvement, he was a good MEC and he could come back because he's not corrupt. It seems the ANC is not at all keen on that, though.
He was a bit hasty in his decision. And again, it was indefensible. I take you out, but I will bring you back when the process is concluded. Why don't you wait for the process to be concluded and make an informed decision? That's really what ought to have been the case. But as others would say, perhaps he was gunning for glory, and it backfired.
Now we're faced with the fact that the ANC in the province wants Khusela Diko and Bandile Masuku to go now through a disciplinary committee meeting. I mean, I understand this is the processes of the ANC. It does feel very cumbersome. Do you think it's the right route that they're taking, though?
That's what ought to have been done before they pronounced. Because it's almost you find me guilty, then you want to put me through the process to find reason to justify your dismissal or expulsion. Yes, it was clumsily handled. They are trying to find a dignified way out of it, but at the same time, it does affect the integrity of the individuals and the soul of the organization. Because at the end of the day, again, it is the party that loses most. Because people are asking themselves, what exactly is going on? If there's something wrong with Bandile, so be it. Act accordingly. But if there's nothing, surely, but only political contestation or factional battles, then it's a pity because the nation on whose behalf they are acting is the one that is taken for a ride.
So Lesiba Masuku seems to be off the hook, and does that absolutely clear the way for her to go back to work for the Johannesburg Metro, or is it ultimately the mayor, Jeff Makuba's call?
You see, the matter has not been properly handled, with due respect to them, and we do err, all of us, one way or another, because one was the call of the president, that's Diko, and the call of the premier, that is Bandile Masuku, and the call of the executive mayor, that is Lesiba. But they scrambled all this together, and they are trying to unscramble the egg, which is that it doesn't always work. But the right process ought to have been given its chance to its logical conclusion. They have processes in place, and they could have done that rather than to find themselves where they are. That notwithstanding, whatever they are trying to do, let them do it with a modicum of respectability and the observance of the law.
A scrambled egg indeed. Thank you very much, political analyst Lesiba Teffo.